Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm your host Tony Coleman, and today I'm going to give you kind of an intro to some of the stock apps. I'm doing this because I've had a lot of people asking me about stocks, specifically for dividends or reverse splits and some other things that I've been kind of participating in. So I wanted to cover a few of them, but kind of give you an idea of how I break them down into about three different categories. They all have their pros and cons, but for people who don't do a lot with stocks, some of them are better fit for some, whereas others would prefer the others. Um, so I'll kind of go over basically the three categories. The first category is the ones that I recommend using for getting your feet wet and starting out with stocks, because they will give you free stock just for signing up. If you use my referral codes, we both get stocks, and sometimes by using referral codes, you also get more stocks than you would just by signing up on your own. So I will have all the links for the stock apps that give you a benefit for signing up like that in the video description. Please use them. I think you'll find them more useful doing that. But the first category being that type, I recommend these. Basically, it's four apps to people because getting into stocks, a lot of people get kind of scared or nervous because they don't want to invest money and just lose it and learn the hard way. By doing these apps, you can get some free stocks that will allow you to sell them and then buy other stocks and basically learn the platform. And then if you end up making a bad sell or a bad purchase or whatever, you're not really losing any of your money because it was the free stocks that you got to begin with. The downside is that each of the stocks is only usually between like $3 to $5. Sometimes you'll get more. Some of them have potential being worth up to $200 or $300, but it's very rare for anybody to get the really high valued stocks. But the great part about using these four apps is it's basically free money, and you can use those stocks to basically just learn how to do your basic purchasing and selling and not have to worry about losing your entire investment. So first one I normally recommend is probably one of the most popular with people in beer money or people wanting to dabble with stocks. It's Robinhood. That's the website I've got open right now. The reason I recommend it first is because I think the app is the most simple and best laid out for entry-level investors. I even use it for long-term holdings just because if I already know what I'm investing in, usually I'm going to sit on it for a long time, and I don't need a lot of the more advanced features for doing that for a long time hold. But with Robinhood, you can sign up, use my referral link. All you got to do to actually get the free stock that they give, usually right now they, depending on what the current offer, it's usually anywhere from 1 to 3 free stocks. I've seen multiple different offers for signing up, but you'll get at least one free stock just for signing up, but you have to attach your bank account to it. But don't be scared. You don't actually have to transfer any money from your bank account in order to get the free stock. They just want you to attach the account because it helps with validating that you're an actual customer and you are who you are. It's part of just them introducing you to the investment side of things too, because once you've already got your bank account attached, you're more likely to actually start investing money than if you didn't have it attached. But what's also good with Robinhood is once you start transferring money, they will typically give you that value in your account to start purchasing immediately. Even though the money's not fully settled yet, you can start investing. However, you can't liquidate until the money has been settled. And usually it takes anywhere from 3 to 5 days for money transferring from your bank account to Robinhood to settle. So you can start getting down to business early by doing the transaction, but don't think you're going to cash out immediately right after doing it and try to screw the system, because they're just not going to pay out. So the free stock you get with Robinhood, or stocks depending on what the current offer is, you can sell it and just keep the money and not even actually invest or even mess with their platform if you want. However, you got to hold that stock in your Robinhood account for 3 days before they'll let you sell it. So the quicker you get your account set up, the quicker you get your stock, the quicker you can start getting this process going. So Robinhood's my first choice out of the what I consider the entry-level investing apps. Next one would be Webull. By signing up with them, you can deposit any amount of money. It could be like $1. And by doing so, using my referral link, you can qualify for up to 6 stocks for free. And those stocks are usually worth, I want to say, somewhere between $3 and $8. Going off the top of my head, I'm not positive on that. But you do get, right now, I think it's 6 stocks for signing up. It may be only 1 stock, but if you deposit $100, you get more. You'll have to see what the current offer is in there, but you'll get at least 1 free stock. I think you get 6 stocks, but I had to deposit $100 to get the extra stocks when I signed up. But when I signed up, it wasn't 6 stocks. It was like 1 stock and you got like 2 more or something. So they do change up these offers periodically. But this is Webull's front page. So if you're following my referral links, you'll land into a page that looks like this. I do recommend signing up using the PC and not the phone initially, because I think it's easier to set up the accounts that way and then download your app later. You can sign up using the phone. It's just sometimes it's a little trickier and doesn't register the way you want. But Webull is my second favorite one. They have a little bit more features than Robinhood does. I find that they have a better sign up reward, because, like I said, right now you can get up to 6 stocks, and that helps you get started a lot easier because you have more money in stocks to work with, and you're selling more stocks, so you get more practice in doing that. Then I recommend going with Public. The reason I like them is not only can you get a free stock for using my referral, but with Public, they've got it pretty dumbed down for people. They make it really easy for you to buy and sell. Pretty straightforward, really. But they also have a category, kind of like what Coinbase has for crypto. They have a learn and earn category. And with the learn and earn, basically it's just a little tutorial that you can read through, and then it has a few questions within the tutorial that you answer. And then when you're done with the tutorial, even if you got the answers wrong, you just choose another answer. It doesn't disqualify you. Just choose another answer and move on. And then when you're done, they give you a choice of a stock within like 3 or 4 choices, and it's usually a couple bucks. So far, as of right now, I've done 3 of them, and I've gotten like $6 in stock just for going through a quick tutorial. Definitely worth the money they're offering, but in my opinion. But it's something that new users would probably find really helpful, because it helps you understand some of the different stock trading terminology and behaviors better, and gives you an idea of a little bit of the strategies and how they work. But I really like when apps like this do learn and earns, because then you're not just doing the one thing that you're always comfortable with. You're actually learning some of the other aspects and possibly growing your potential by doing that. So last one of this category is First Trade. I use them a little bit, mostly for reverse splits, but You can get 2 free stocks by signing up. Usually it's worth between $300 and $200 a stock. Usually it's going to be closer to $3 for each of those. And last I looked on them, their deal was if you deposit $100 into the account, they'll give you 2 more free stocks. And what's great about this is that you don't actually have to spend the $100. You don't have to invest it. You just have to transfer the $100 into the account, let it settle, and then they give you the 2 extra stocks. By doing that, you can then turn around and just withdraw the $100 back to your bank account and not actually spend it, risk it, or anything. And you would have eventually basically gotten like 4 free stocks that you can then liquidate and just play with. So it's definitely a good option for people who want to do it. Like I said, some of them don't require any money deposit. Like Robinhood, you don't have to. Public, you don't have to. Webull, I don't think you have to, but I had to get extra stocks. And then with First Trade, again, I only had deposit money to get extra stocks as well. The only one that I had to hold money or hold anything in there was Robinhood, and that was I couldn't sell those 3 stocks for 3 days, or the 1 stock for 3 days, in order to cash it out. The others, they have a no hold policy, meaning that as soon as the stock is in your account, you can start the process of cashing it out and then sending it back to your bank account. So I find those 4 to be the best to start out if you've never dealt with stock trading, simply because you can do it pretty much risk-free. Not exactly risk-free, by definition, but you really don't have to spend your own money to get started and risk the money that you had in your bank. You can just use the free stocks. I do want to remind people this isn't financial advice, simply because anytime you deal with stocks, there is risk. In this case, even getting the free stocks, technically you owe tax money on it when you cash it out, stuff like that. So there is some investment in there. There are some chances of having to pay in taxes, but usually when you're getting free, it's profit. So next, the second category I want to get into is more like a cash back stock option. There's 2 apps that do that I know of that I actually use, and they work well. It's Bits of Stock and Bumped. What it is on these, after you sign up with the referral links, you will attach your bank accounts to them. Now, you're not actually sending any money to Bits of Stock or Bumped. You're not actually purchasing any stocks whatsoever. Instead, what you're doing is they are taking your purchase history information, because you're giving them access to seeing your transactions in that bank account. And then anytime you make a purchase from certain businesses within their app that they give rewards for, such as like Little Caesars, Bits of Stock right now, I have Little Caesars selected on them. Anytime I purchase pizza from Little Caesars, I get a little bit back. McDonald's, I get rewards back from Bumped for McDonald's, because I have it chosen as one of my stock picks. So usually it ends up being something really low, like I don't know, like a 1% or 0.5% or something like that. But over the last few years, I've picked up probably around $75 or so worth of stock in McDonald's, just from purchasing my kids' Happy Meals and such. So they're good for picking up stocks, and the reason that I recommend that in a stock video is because they're actual brokerages. They don't let you buy stock, but you can sell the stocks. You are holding it. You do get in all the tax paperwork for claiming whatever you've done. If you don't sell it, you really don't have to claim it. Usually, talk to your tax professional on that. But since you haven't made any profit on it, usually you're not paying taxes on it. until you cash it out. So both of those apps really good for building up some stock investments. And what's good is some of those stock investments also have dividends. So whenever those companies pay out dividends, bumped in bits of stock will also include that into your earnings. And so it could be one of those things where just look at it as a long-term holding. You pick up the stocks for free. They keep giving you dividends from it. And eventually you can just sell them if you want. All up to you. But I consider that a risk-free because you're getting the stock for free for your purchases anyway. So not really a chance to lose on that unless you're just buying the products for the stocks. And then, of course, you're going to be paying way more for the product than what the stock's worth. So it'd be kind of dumb just to do that. But that's the second category. That gives you basically 6 different brokerage accounts because those two each have a brokerage account in them. And that's about as cheap as you can get into stocks as there is. So the third category are the ones that they don't really give you much incentive for signing up. 2 of them do have referral bonuses, but they're not really that good because in order to get a referral bonus from them, you're usually talking a large sum of money being transferred over. And in a video like this where we're talking about giving you an intro to some of these stock apps, it really doesn't fit the theme much. So this category, I'll start up mentioning Schwab, Charles Schwab. Their app I like a lot. I wish some of the other apps would basically clone their app. It's got a lot of the functionality that you have on the website. It gives you some of the advanced features, but the advanced features don't overwhelm the simpler trading. And with Schwab, they make it really easy to open multiple accounts. So you can just have the one login and multiple different accounts. Some people will ask you or ask me, why would you want multiple accounts with Schwab? Well, if you invest in a lot of stocks, like a wide variety of them, after a while, it makes it hard to juggle between some of them. And you might have different strategies that you want to try and play with. So by doing that, you don't have to try to keep all those different strategies in mind in a disorganized manner. You can basically choose, like, say, my first account, I want all my dividend stocks in. My second account are the stocks I use for day trading. My third account may just be reverse splits or whatever, whatever you're trying to do with your accounts. And so it makes it really easy to separate. And plus you can also set up IRA accounts. And with the IRA accounts, those are more of a long-term holding because you shouldn't be cashing them out. You should be leaving your money in there for the tax savings. But there's a lot of reasons to have multiple accounts, especially if you're doing reverse splits. But with Schwab, I really like their website setup. Yes, some of the things that you got to do in their site can get buried because there's so many features that you can do with stock trading that it's hard not to. Their support's really good about walking you through. You just let them know what you're trying to do and what the error you're getting. And they're pretty good about replying and walking you through the step-by-step how to do it. With Schwab, the referral on it, you're talking way more money than most people are going to be looking at. If you're watching my video, you're probably not transferring that kind of money over to Schwab anyway. I'll still have the referral link in there just in case somebody happens to really want to use it. But it is what it is. Second one, my second favorite is Fidelity. The only reason Fidelity is not my first favorite is just one little headache, and that is if you have multiple accounts and you're trying to do transactions between them, say you're wanting to buy the same stock in each of your accounts, it doesn't keep track of which account you used last. It just basically shows you all your accounts, and then you just kind of got to remember, okay, this is the one I already bought, this one I haven't, this one I have. Whereas with like Schwab, I can just go down my list, and the last one I did has the check mark on it, and then I can just kind of go down my list, and the check mark follows me. So that's the only reason Fidelity gets placed as second choice. The advantage with Fidelity, though, over Schwab is that with Fidelity, they don't charge you fees for OTC or over the counter stock purchases and sales. At least right now they aren't. Maybe in the future they will. So keep it in mind, research it before you do your own purchasing. But Fidelity also, like Schwab, makes it really easy to make several accounts on it. So if you're needing a lot of different accounts, like I said, with Schwab, Fidelity, really simple to do, and they have the different categories too. So some of the others, like E-Trade, it has a referral bonus. If you use it, I would appreciate it if you would use my referral link if you go with E-Trade. Their app has gotten a lot better lately. When I first signed up for it, it was very disorganized in my opinion. I only actually originally went with it because my employer had an option for me to buy stocks if I did that, and so the incentive was for me to get company stocks cheaper through a special program, and since I left that employer, I've had not a lot of reasons to really use E-Trade, but I have noticed the app has gotten a lot better and it's a lot more user friendly than it was previously. I think they still got a long way to go with their app, but it's a solid company. It's one you can usually trust. They just have a lot of different fees for certain things that I don't want to use them for. So there's Vanguard, there's Tradeer, Chase has some, Merrill Edge has some, Ally Invest, SoFi, Tastyworks, TradeStation. And there's probably several others out there that's not on my list. All of these companies have various advantages and disadvantages. Some of them have really good apps, some of them don't. Some of them are kind of a pain to deal with. It all depends on what your end goal is, but pretty much any other app I've found so far fits into this category, and it's more designed towards your long-term investor. I would also throw M1 Financial in there. M1 Financial is a little different. They, instead of purchasing individual stocks, it's more designed for you to set up your own. They basically make pie charts, and you lump a bunch of stocks that you want in, and then you tell them what percentage of your money goes to each of them, and then they basically buy fractional shares, full shares, whatever, based on how much money you put into that grouping. And then that way, whenever you're investing, it's almost like having a mutual fund or an ETF or whatever, of your own design, just because you're grouping a bunch of stocks together and you're investing in that entire group of stocks instead of just one. So for them, they're kind of trying to appeal to people who don't want to manage individual stocks, but more have a little bit more safety by having a grouping of stocks. And you can even have multiple groups with M1 where you could say, oh, these are all my tech investments, therefore it's my higher risk, and then these are some of my low risk ones, and these are the ones that I use just for dividends or whatever. You can break it up that way, but I find it to be more of an illusion than a real benefit, because quite honestly, I'm going to invest in whatever stocks I want to invest in, and I'll just either sit on them or I'll flip them depending on what the intent was to begin with. But some people like M1. There's nothing against them. I do have an account with them. I had I signed up when there was a sign up bonus of sorts. So definitely look into it if you want. But it's not traditionally one that is meant for a lot of trading and selling. It's more of a long-term set and forget style investment. So that's pretty much the gist of most of these apps. I'm not going to go through each of the apps showing you how all of them work, because this video would be multiple hours long. But this kind of gives you an idea of what I would advise you to start with. Get into some of the free stocks. get some of the stocks for your everyday purchases, and then move on to some of the more advanced stock options later whenever you're comfortable with that sort of trade. So, got any questions with it? Feel free to drop them in the comments section down below. I'd be more than happy to discuss it. I will remind you again, I am not a financial advisor and I'm not a professional stock trader. I just dabble with some of it and I'm kind of learning as I go as well. And I found these apps to be very beneficial to me when I first set up. And then, so if you find any others that you think should be in a different category, please tell me, because I would love to find some other ones to lump into the first category or maybe even the second category, and then kind of expand on that a little bit more. But that's all I got today. Until next time, have a good one.